Helene, the bill omits a part that addresses more of a downstate issue, more in your area, with dealing with congestion pricing and ways that funds might be raised for the MTA. Are we going to see, do we anticipate in any other part of this bill that there might be something that addresses that issue?
Yes, I think once we get to the revenue bill, we'll be able to address some of those issues of funding for the MTA.
Talking about omitting parts, it also omitted a part of the governor's budget that created a uniform process for the small cell installation. I know when we did the budget hearings, we heard some about that issue as well. By eliminating that, I know this is the next generation of technology. By eliminating that, are we going to be having the wireless companies not bringing that technology to New York? Do we know what the result of not including that will be?
Well, that section, as you note, was intentionally omitted, and the process will be for the providers to go to the individual localities, mindful of their zoning laws, and work with those localities in coming up with a scheme to install the 5G technology.
I know that one of the requests for it was saying, you know, if it was uniform across the state, the possibility it might be more quickly done and our constituents, residents might be able to benefit from it quicker. You know, how it transpires now, who knows? But at this point, we're not going to see this in any other part of the budget.
No, that was intentionally omitted because we didn't want to impose a state rule upon localities and interfere with their particular zoning requirements and needs.
One of the things that has been talked about on the floor here in a number of budgets over the years relates to a specific health insurance demonstration program for the entertainment industry. And the thing is I don't know exactly how old this is, but I know when it started, there was a very different marketplace. We hadn't had the federal Health Care Act that was in, and so I think the question would, you know, or may beg the question of saying, now we have a different market that's been created. Why not just have the individuals who today are benefiting from that program, instead of subsidizing that, why don't we just let them go to the markets that exist in New York State?
You know, so as you note, it's something that we've been doing for a number of years. And gradually it has been a reduction in the number of individuals that are covered under this program. At this point, it's $110,000 that we are continuing to cover.
A total of 10,000?
110,000.
Oh, 110,000. And do we?
And it doesn't preclude any of these individuals going to other, whether COBRA or some other kind of insurance, or to, you know, our exchange, but, and that has, in fact, happened. And that's partially why the number has dwindled over the years.
Do we allow people to still, you know, new individuals to come in, or is this just individuals who've been covered for a number of years and are continuing?
Yeah, I do think that it's it's open to new individuals, but, clearly there is less need because of the health exchange and the ACA.
When you mention the $110,000, that doesn't appear in this bill. Will we see that in some?
Yes, in a later bill
All right.
tomorrow. I guess 'cause it's still Thursday.
Hopefully. One of the things that the governor, as well as the attorney general, have been pushing is for the state to enact student loan regulations to aid some in just students dealing with the debt crisis. I think of the 3 initiatives that the governor proposed, only one of them actually survived, that being that if someone owed or is in default or in the midst of not meeting their student loan debts, that they couldn't have departments of the state or agencies of the state who might issue licenses, that they could no longer, take that part away. But the other provisions, I believe, were rejected. So just a quick question, do we know why those other initiatives were not included?
Right. On those other sections, provisions, we couldn't come to agreement, and on the prohibiting the suspension of the licenses is really just codifying what is in this bill, is codifying what existing practice is.
So regulating the servicers and protecting against the debt consultants, sorry, missed it, didn't make it. Are we doing anything else within the budget to address the issue of student loans and some of the problems related with the volume of the debt that students are carrying? I know we don't necessarily control the percentage rates that they're paying, et cetera, but anything else that we're doing?
No, I do not believe so. I mean, we did, pass an individual bill in our House addressing some of the student loan issues, but we were not able to get an agreement, a 3-way agreement on including some of those provisions in the budget.
Thank you very much.